You're not going in there, are you? You're not going in there, are you? Dazzling! Go, go! Sparkly! Wow! Great!